4 million సబ్స్క్రైబర్స్ని పొందినటువంటి సుమన్ టీవీకి నా హృదయపూర్వక శుభాకాంక్షలు. ఆల్ ది వెరీ బెస్ట్.
Congratulations Suman TV, 4 million viewership, amazing, keep it up, looking forward to 4 million more.
Welcome to Suman TV. Now we are sitting with the president of the French Women Pilots Association, Ms. Christine Debouzy. She is here in India on a tour to spearhead the activities of Women Pilots Association. Welcome, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to India, first of all.
Very happy to be here.
That's great. And as president of French Women Pilots Association, can you please briefly explain what are the activities you spearhead in France and in the world as a general?
French Women Pilot Association has a lot of activities and was born in 1971. 2 years after, the French government changed the law. To become airline pilot, you needed to be a man.
Okay.
So they changed, it could be possible to women.
Okay.
Because of the association work for the right of genders to become pilots.
Okay.
And today's the number of women pilots in general aviation in France and professional pilots is very low, only 8%.
Okay.
And we try everything to improve it.
Okay, from 8% to a higher percentage.
Of course.
Okay.
So we have many activities for all the federal administration aviation in France. We try to help the girls to become to do these activities. With there are 9 grounds: glider, parachute, drones now.
Yeah.
So 9 different activities.
Yes.
Ultralights.
Yes.
And we just try to make these girls to have meetings together, to exchange their common problems to become pilots.
Okay.
And we have a big annual encounter in different airfields in France every year.
Okay.
With 80 aircraft, small aircraft coming from all over France, with minimum 1 girl pilot in each aircraft.
Okay.
And we take a godmother pilot.
Okay.
She will have different activities. She can be ultralight auto-gear pilot. She can be a helicopter pilot from the army, from the police or civil also. And many girls who are in competition with aerobatics, who are champion even
Aerobatics.
this year we had one girl, Aude Le Mordant. She was world champion for aerobatics.
Okay.
And we have also girls being handicapped. We have girls handicapped pilot with the legs. We have girls handicapped pilot with the side. And also we had 2 years ago the first lady pilot who is deaf. And there is a special exam for private pilots.
Okay.
For this kind of handicap.
France, of course, is a rich country compared to India. How, when you compare the cost of training for a pilot, how you compare the cost in France to that of India?
I don't know exactly the cost in India, and I would like to meet the Indian Women Pilot Association because the rate of women pilot in the Indian companies is the highest in the world.
Highest in the world, yes.
Average 15% women pilot, and even one company has 30%.
Yeah, that's Indigo, Interglobe Aviation.
For that, we give loans for young women in France under 25. We have each year we give 5 loans to become pilot on small aircraft even, or to become professionals. We give 5 loans of $1,000, and to become professional, 3 loans of $3,000. So we try to find money. The young people have to pass a special exam, which is called Brevet d'initiation aéronautique. It's a quiz. They have to learn the grounds,
basics of aviation.
basic for meteorology, how airplane flies,
Study the
etc.
weather conditions.
So they can understand why at school they learn physics or mathematics, because they need this to understand how an airplane flies. So it's a very interesting study for them.
Okay.
Also a lesson to take decisions when they fly the gliders. You have no engine, so when you cannot go higher with the thermals, you have to decide, I come back to the airfield or I land in
to the ground,
field.
yes.
Okay. So it's a very good school of life for young people.
Okay.
And when they get this exam, they can have loans from the government and from the aviation ministry also. So each time they succeed for a small exam, or they can fly by their own,
Okay.
they have some flight hours for free.
Okay.
So we try to help them to work the exam, and many French teachers also, they are involved with this exam.
How many flight schools are there which trains the pilots in France?
Principal is a government school.
Okay.
It's the only pilot school, I think, who is free in the world.
Okay.
École nationale d'aviation civile,
Okay.
National Airline Pilot School. So there is an exam after high school, 1 year or 2 years of study, mostly mathematics, and they take between 20 and 50 students each year, and it's all free.
Okay.
They have all the teaching to become airline pilot.
Okay.
And they take also 5 students who have already loans because their parents are poor.
Okay.
And they do 1 year more studies because they will do the preparation of the airline theoretical exam.
Compared to France, in India, let me tell you, almost 95% of the aviation training schools are in private sector. Hardly there is any government pilot training school. People go to private schools only here, that is the reason why the cost of becoming a pilot in India is very high. Even despite the prohibitive cost, Indian women are going to many Indian women are going to become the pilots by spending so much money. Compared to France, suppose, is there any pilots after becoming amateur pilots? Many of them are in general aviation. They opt for general aviation jobs, or some of remain the amateur pilots in France.
95% of the women studying to be pilot are very motivated, because this is something like a competition to succeed for the pilot school, or in private pilot you can pay for it, but we have exams all our life. When you are airline pilot, every 6 months you have the simulator exam.
Simulator exam, yes.
And you have always to be learning in the books and in computer.
You need to upgrade your skills.
Upgrade your skills
every time.
regularly. Everything is changing with the new aircraft. And so it's a good thing for the brain. And this job is very gives a lot of satisfaction for people and for the women. And they can organize for their social life with children. In France also we have many laws to have partial time job if you have some children. So all women are practicing.
Oh, you mean to say all the women pilots, they are encouraged to grow up in life by the system?
Yes, but only 20% of people getting to the competition to become pilot in a company, for example, for Air France, they also pay the studies for, they call it les cadets, the cadets, pilots.
Okay.
And it's free also, but only 19% of these students are women.
Okay.
And only for the exam, but after, in the school, there will be maybe less.
How European Aviation Safety Agency is going to encourage so that more and more women become pilots?
In the United States, they made some studies about safety in aviation, and they found out that for women pilots, the safety was much bigger during flight, and during taxiing on the ground it was less than the men. But it's old studies, and now the numbers are too low to compare. But I think there are nowadays we have to think about the quality of cockpit resource management. Human relations in a team, in a crew, is very important.
Very important. They need to have the synergy.
So for this synergy, to have men and women is improvement, they think, because many with the gender of female, there can be more empathy, but all human beings are different. But the best of the two will be improving for safety.
And how the perception of the passengers in Europe to a woman pilot in the cockpit?
I think it's better now.
They are accepting the woman at the controls.
Yes, they are very happy. Yes.
Overall scenario of a woman pilot ensuring the safety of the passengers and safety of the aircraft in India is very high. How different it is in Europe, the perception of the passengers to a woman pilot at the cockpit?
In the past, it was different. I had in business jet some German passenger. He said when he was in flight, "Oh, if I knew you were a woman, I wouldn't have come in the airplane." And I told him, "You can go out," but we were in flight, so it's too late. But nowadays, even you had some women, they were afraid to fly with women because of education of the society generally. The society is changing.
Even in other Asian countries like Malaysia, Singapore, India, there are many women pilots that are entering the aviation industry. That is a very good sign.
I would like to exchange with them to know how they do, but I think the problem in Europe is that the little girls don't have any models enough of women pilot. They don't think they can do it. So we are also working with some association called Winning Girls. They take the girls in high school and they try to train themselves psychologically,
orienting them towards this
to be self-confident and to know that they can do something else than commercial job or something for makeup on YouTube. That they can access to every profession now, and they could be leaders and have a better life.
In India, it costs not less than 200,000 euros to become a commercial pilot. How much it is going to cost in France to become a commercial pilot?
In France, it depends if you go in the national school, which is free, or in the cadet school for Air France, the big airline in France. It's free also. They only take for the national government school 20 to 50 students every year.
Okay.
And for Air France, they take 200 per year now of student pilots.
Okay.
And the student pilots for Air France in the cadet school, they just have to reimburse when they are pilot.
Okay.
Some part of the formation, they have to just reimburse the food and the lodging.
Okay, food and lodging they need to bear.
But
Okay.
we have different private school, and the cost will be approximately the same, maybe less than India. You can become a pilot if you just begin to be private pilot, and you fly minimum amount of hours, and you can work to be a teacher, instructor. In
Okay.
private schools. After, or you can become a towing pilot for gliders or for advertisement. You can do also jobs in private aviation, on business jets, and then you try to go into big airlines.
Yeah, you start with a small aircraft or a business jet, then you migrate to the commercial big airline.
Slowly, yes.
Slowly migrate.
And the French government can give you some scholarship when you, for the young people from 14 to 21 years old, they can have some scholarship from the government to be a private pilot. They just have to pass an exam, theoretical exam, basic exam. And now in Europe, they will also be able to fly by their own in all Europe, and to take passengers only 40 miles around the airfield.
Okay.
That will be the low private pilot license, European. And after, if you do the commercial pilot license, you can have some scholarship from our association, from the French Women Pilot Association. 3,000 euro we give we give 3 per year.
How you get the funds to distribute this as a scholarship to the Women Pilots Association? How you get their funds?
It comes from all our members.
Okay.
And also we can get some funds from Air France, the big company, from Total.
Okay, Total, oil company.
Also, we can have help from some state, region entities. We try to find many different
Source of funds.
sources. Yes.
How do you see your role in shaping the Women Pilots Association in India? Do you have any plans to extend your association to Indian women pilots as well?
There are some international association of women pilots in the United States. We have a European Association of Women Pilots, but since we are not many, it's still we work for France mainly. Sometimes we have Indian women living in France also, we try to help. And also we have some territories in the Pacific Ocean and in Caribbean, which are French or
French territories, French overseas territories.
Yes. And we are working a little with the European Women Association, but there is a lot to do with India, I think, first, and with all the world women pilot. There is a lot to do. Even in history, we would like to work for the history of women in aviation.
How many women pilots are there in total France who are operating in general aviation?
As I told you, 8%. It depends if you take the ultralight, all activities, gliders. So I know only that for the great companies, we have only 400 women.
Women pilots.
Professional.
India, I think, boasts of around 3,200 women pilots.
Ah, good.
Total of 14,000 trained pilots are there. Out of 14,000 trained pilots, 3,200 are women pilots in India. And there are, I think, around 17 major flight training schools in India. In all the 17 major flight training schools, At least 30% of the candidates are women. They're undergoing training.
I studied in the French National School, ENAC, and the young students in ENAC made a project in Senegal, on the island of Gorée, for a pilot school for girls. And I am participating to search for money and help them to teach. They send them teachers from l'ENAC to learn the basic of aviation. And then they help them to go into the schools to become something in aeronautics. They can become air traffic controller or many jobs, engineer.
Yes.
We need a lot of engineers to build
Aircraft engineers, maintenance
future aircraft that are consuming less fuel for the environment against the pollution, and so it takes 20 years minimum to improve new aircraft.
You have any plans to meet any association members in India or the aviation ministry?
I will come back, I think, for the Hyderabad Wing Air, Wings India.
You plan to come to Wings Aviation? Okay.
I will be coming, I think, we have in our association a woman who did very great studies, Miss Priyanka Das. She's from Assam.
Yes, I heard about her. Yes.
She just, after studying Polytechnic in France and the Superhero School of Aeronautics Engineer, she did a study about GPS navigation on the moon, and now she's working for cosmonaut stuff with the Americans and with the Safran.
Safran is opening a manufacturing facility in this city in Hyderabad.
Yes, I've heard.
Probably by end of this year, they may start manufacturing the engines in this facility.
Yes, it's great, Safran, very big.
And finally, you tell me how your association is going to see the future of aviation in Europe and in India.
In Europe, like everywhere, it's increasing. Of course, you see the number of companies, of people traveling. Now there are some restrictions with environment. In some countries, in Norway, you have environment fighters. They said that aircraft will be more and more polluting. So there is a real defy to build a new aircraft less polluting, as I told you.
But it will be a long time away.
Yes.
Yes. And thank you so much for your time, and all the best for your activities in India and in France as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
40 లక్షల మంది వీక్షిస్తున్న సుమన్ టీవీకి కంగ్రాచ్యులేషన్స్. ఇంకా ఎదగాలి అని మనస్ఫూర్తిగా కోరుకుంటున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Congratulations to SumanTv for getting 4 million subscribers. Please keep watching. Please keep subscribing.